Welcome everybody to the Finance Road Trip Podcast Part 2, the Black Wall Street Tour, also known as the Digital Financial Revolution Tour, where I take you on my journey to 22 cities with cryptocurrency exchange owner Naja Roberts with the goal to close the wealth gap through group economics and financial literacy and a focus on Bitcoin, which we believe to be the evolution of money. Naja Roberts and Hill Harper partnered to create the Black Wall Street Wallet, where you can buy, sell, and send your Bitcoin to your cold wallet. Make sure to follow me on all major platforms at CJ the Smart Guy and check out thedfrtour.com for more information on 2022 tour. Thank you. And so we left Atlanta May 8th, and we were supposed to go to South Carolina, but it was Mother's Day. Nobody really showed up, so we're not going to do an episode on that one. And so we went directly to Charlotte, North Carolina. And Charlotte is the home to both Isaiah Jackson and Justin Rhedrick. Isaiah Jackson is the author of Bitcoin and Black America. That book is what united a lot of us together. So I had ordered the book, and I read it, and I saw that we were on the same page when it comes to Black empowerment. We're on the same page when it comes to forget the banks. You know, the banks are the ones who create a lot of these problems. The Federal Reserve was created by the owners of the banks. And Isaiah actually has a video on Instagram where he talks about all the different lawsuits that are going on with the banks right directly in his city. So he's like on like a skyscraper or something like that. And he's looking over and he's giving information, talking about all the different lawsuits that are going on with the banks right there in Charlotte, North Carolina. It's the headquarters to both Bank of America as well as Wachovia. And so Charlotte plays a huge role. Charlotte, as well as just North Carolina in general. It is the second largest banking state in the entire country, trailing only New York. And it actually has more than $1 trillion worth of assets over the third largest banking state, which would be California. So Charlotte, as well as North Carolina in general, have a huge banking presence. They have over 32,000 people employed just alone by Bank of America and Wachovia. They also have a couple black banks out there, black-owned banks. You got Mechanics and Farmers Bank, as well as you got First Legacy Community Credit Union. And so Charlotte has a huge banking presence. And so Isaiah, creating this book called Bitcoin and Black America, basically is a target. You know, Bitcoin was created in reaction to the banking crisis in 2008 and 2009, where they were basically creating all these mortgage loans and giving them to people that didn't deserve them. They were unsecured. They were backed by trash bonds, junk bonds, and investments that they knew weren't going to go right. It was very bad practices, malpractice. People should have gone to jail, but they didn't. They actually got bailed out by Obama when he became president. And so people like me, people like Isaiah, people like Justin, we all have a very bad taste when it comes to the banks because they have too much control. And then when you realize that the Federal Reserve was created by the owners of these banks, it's like, well, it all makes perfect sense. It's all a system to keep their power, their control. And typically that's not worked out in our favor. Our meaning, you know, young Black Americans or Black Americans in general, or even young people in general. And so that's why we look to Bitcoin as such a big thing. So make sure you guys, if you haven't heard of the book called Bitcoin and Black America, make sure you guys go ahead and check it out. That's what united all of us. At the very back, there's a directory that basically shows all the Black people that are involved in this crypto and blockchain space. And so when I got to North Carolina, when I got to Charlotte, Isaiah wasn't even there. That was sad. I was expecting to meet him, but he wasn't there. I think he was in Barbados. But we got there. I met up with Justin. Justin and Isaiah, they grew up together. So if you don't know about Justin's story, he actually has an interview with Anthony Pompliano. Anthony's a big crypto person. He's like a local celebrity in this crypto space. And so they've got interviews together where he talks about his story, how he had gone to prison. And when he came out, he wasn't sure exactly what to do because it's difficult to be put back into society when, you know, you don't have experience in the job world and they judge you based off of your past, even though you've already done you've done your time and things like that. And so Isaiah introduced him to Bitcoin and the blockchain. And since tour, Justin's actually released a book entitled From Bars to Bitcoin, where he basically gives an autobiography of his mindset before making a decision that led him to go to prison. And so one of the things that he says is, A, is due to mindset. Certain schools aren't teaching what they should be teaching and aren't equipping them with the things that they need in order to thrive in society, as well as the lack of money. So if you don't have any money, it's very difficult to enact the things that you want to happen. And so sometimes out of frustration, people make decisions that are illegal and it ends them in prison. He says that the majority of people that are in prison are there because of a lack of money. And so I think that book is very powerful. I think that should be sent to the majority of people that are coming out of prison. Maybe they can learn something about Bitcoin and it can help prevent them from going back into the prisons. And so I think that book is extremely powerful. So big shout outs to Justin for that. Also shout outs to Isaiah. He's the one who created Bitcoin in Black America. And since Tor now, I know that he's making Miami the BBB headquarters and setting up shop. He's got a school out there in Miami where the Mayor Suarez, donated $1,000 worth of Bitcoin to all of Isaiah's students. And so together, I think this tandem with Isaiah and Justin is extremely powerful. So if they're building this in Miami, I do believe that maybe Justin, as well as myself, may be moving to Miami just to, make this actually happen, especially since we're having the support of Mayor Suarez down there. But in the meantime, I know Justin's had clubhouse events entitled From Bars to Bitcoin also, where he's educating people that are imprisoned about Bitcoin. Because one thing about prison is they use different currencies. They don't use the US dollar when they're in prison. They might use stamp as a currency. So, they might use toilet paper. They might use cigarettes. They use whatever you can. Anything can be money. Money is just defined by whatever people accept as valuable. So shout outs to Justin, shout outs to Isaiah. Isaiah's nickname is called Bitcoin Zay, and then Justin Rhedrick's nickname is called Bitcoin Vegan. I think Bitcoin Vegan is a brilliant name because it incorporates the Bitcoin community as well as the vegan community. So make sure you guys go ahead and check that out. But back to the story. So we got here to Charlotte. We got there a day early because of South Carolina. It was Mother's Day. We get there. It was my first time working out on this entire trip. So I'm used to working out 4 or 5 times a week. And I hadn't worked out this whole trip. It was difficult. This time I got my workout in. It was really great. Justin came through. He scooped me up. We had a conversation. Everything was great. And then we went over to North End Camp, which is where we did our presentations. Here, I met up with a few people. We met with Chris Perceptions. He is the founder of Percept Pay. On Percept Pay, buyers can pay with debit or credit cards, but sellers receive Bitcoin for goods and services, and then they receive weekly deposits to their Bitcoin wallet as they make sales. He's also a partner with the Black Wall Street. That's the cryptocurrency exchange that is owned by Hill Harper and Naja Roberts. And so here we are, we're in Charlotte, and we're talking about the evolution of money. We're talking about Bitcoin. And we're actually meeting with people like Chris who are creating different platforms and different apps to utilize this. So it's really amazing. You can also check out Chris Perceptions on Instagram. He has something called the 100 Days of Bitcoin Challenge, where he just basically gives tidbits on Bitcoin and some other things you might want to know about. He's also one of the ones who helped upgrade the Black Wall Street wallet to include the features of dollar cost averaging, as well as being able to send your crypto from the Black Wall Street wallet to your own cold wallet. So big shout outs to Chris Perceptions on this. I think he's doing a fine job in the industry. I think that he's got a lot of good things coming out. So make sure you guys check him out. We also met up with this dude named Sharif, the singer. He's the one who created the anthem for the Black Bitcoin Billionaires Club. It's actually really cool. I know one day I'm going to start banging that really loud as I become a billionaire. And since tour, it's really cool to hear that song on KBLA 1580 through Naja Roberts' talk show Ahead of the Curve. So Tavis Smiley basically gave the airwaves to Naja Roberts all Black History Month in February. And so she talks about Bitcoin, the evolution of money. And on her podcast, Ahead of the Tour podcast, you hear Black Bitcoin Billionaires. And so that was just really dope. Big shout outs to Sharif for that. And so back to the tour. Charlotte was really nice. We also had a couple people out there, and forgive me if I forget their names. It really put into perspective how long that Lamar Wilson has been in this space, because we had people coming and they were talking about Lamar, about Coinda and what Coinda back in the day, the groups that Lamar was a part of. And they were talking about the CJs and the different coins that Lamar has created. And so they were really happy to see the evolution of this club that he created. So Isaiah and Lamar, they founded the Black Bitcoin Billionaires Club on Clubhouse. And so think about this timeline, right? Lamar is in Bitcoin first, like 2013. Before that, Isaiah and Justin get into it a little bit later. I think 2013, 2014 time period. And, not too many people were involved with it, especially not black people. But as time has gone, Isaiah creates the book, Bitcoin in Black America. It starts to unite us. And then Clubhouse is created as an app, I call it like an audio app for meetings. So instead of having to meet up in person, it's like a public speaking app. You could have people on stage. You can raise your hand if you want to talk. You have lots of control over who can come to the stage and speak. You can kick them back to the audience if you want to. And so we're talking on there all the time. We're communicating about this cryptocurrency and the evolution of money. And here we are in Charlotte all meeting each other. And so this tour with Naja was really amazing because I got to meet fans of Lamar. I got to meet Justin. I got to meet Chris. And we got to meet Sharif, who, he's the creative side. He's creating these songs for us. And so it was really dope. Charlotte was an amazing presence. And yeah, that's my story in Charlotte. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Make sure you check out Bitcoin in Black America. Make sure you check out Bars to Bitcoin. Make sure you check out Percept Pay, as well as make sure you check out the Black Bitcoin Billionaires Anthem. I'm CJ the Smart Guy. I'm out.